from your perspective?
Good evening to everyone. I think that it was just a bad day at the office today. From the beginning, we did not look the way I expected. Moments where we would try to keep possession, but when it comes to the final third, we were very indecisive. I think we got a chance very early in the game with Manqoba. We also got another one with Sibiya, but we decided to pass. But Pirates ran stronger than us. They were very powerful off the ball. They worked very hard, and credit must be given to their technical team. I think the team worked very hard, and it made our life very difficult, and it exposed our frailties in terms of the energy, because I think they were hungrier than us, and they created scoring opportunities from situations that we had analyzed, and strangely even from the individuals that we have analyzed in those pockets, in those areas of the pitch. But unfortunately we were just not at our best, and I don't think we were hungry enough in this game. I think they won the match because they deserved it. It is just said that it was 5. I think on the 4th goal, I think the ball was outside when Mabaso was fouled on the touchline. I also think there was a strong penalty shout on Cisse, but we also fluffed our chances with Gasa and Sitole, which were few and far between. I think a team that deserved to win won the match.
We'll now open for questions from the floor. As per norm, we've got roving mics. Please, by show of hands, identify yourselves as well as the media company you represent prior to asking your questions. Mr. Temeshovala.
Temeshovala Joseph from Sports. Coach, looking at this result, and you've got players that are quite young, players that are quite energetic and exciting, but now tonight we saw a different Arrows. How do you then get back to being the Arrows that we know and just maybe doing away with this result? Where do you start as of tomorrow?
Norman, first we must accept that it's one of those lessons that these youngsters also have to learn. To come in Orlando and play in Orlando is not a child's play for a young player that just last season was playing in the ABC Motsepe League, and this season he finds himself in the PSL. And I think most of these youngsters played very well. The younger players really played well. I think Mabaso had a very good game. I think Gianni played well. I think Hlezi played well. I think Gasa and Chola, when they came into the game, they also played well. Ngubeko gave a good account of himself. We are just unfortunate with our aides today, where they were not at the level that we expected. Dion tried, but there was no supply. But nothing is lost. I think it would have been bad if after the result of today we moved, because that is what I was scared of, that we probably would move to 10th spot, because I anticipated a better result for Stellenbosch and a better result for Suwelele, but unfortunately both of them they lost, and we still managed to keep our position in the top 8. And we've got the games that we've got, which I think we will be competing against teams that we could do fairly well. And if you consider how many home matches we have, I still maintain and believe that these boys will be able to finish in the top 8. I'm very convinced.
Coach, Sia from Kickoff. Coach, it looked like a slightly improved performance in the second half. Created a few chances. I just want to know, what would have been your halftime team talk to these players?
I wouldn't really think it was mainly halftime team talk. I think for a team that was already leading 3, subconsciously they can't use all their energy to put the same fight, and they were a little bit complacent, and they would give us situations that in the first half they would not give us easily. I think we got some very good breaks that we did not use second half, but it was not necessarily because of the team talk. The change of personnel might have played a role. to bring in players, younger players like Kasa and Sitole that were willing to run and work a little bit harder off the ball also helped. But the reality is that I don't think Pirates was still as intense as they were in the first half.
Hello, Coach Lorenz from Ski Times. What was the issue with Cisse? Was the fitness issue that he was on the bench today and not starting this fixture?
He did not start even the last one. He was not even in the team on the last one. It's football, eh? Everybody must play. And I also don't think when he came in, he gave a very good account of himself. So in football, we must expect these elements here and there, but he's still a very good football player. But unfortunately, he's going through a rough patch. The last 4 or 5 matches have not been very good, and he still has to work very hard. You know, sometimes with younger players, the stress and the anxiety that comes with all the talks around can be very dangerous in their heads. And even today, I don't think he ran hard enough when he got in. But he's a very good football player, and I've got all the patience in him because I know what he's capable of. And I do believe we can still bring a little bit of hunger in him and make him to fight a little bit more, because the last few performances that he has had were also not very good, if I can be honest with you. Thank you very much, guys.
We'll take the last 3 questions. Mark, B, and wow, haven't been around.
Thank you, Madam. Coach, can I just ask you from a player managerial perspective, when the boys take a bit of a crushing knock like this, I know you would have put a lot of preparation into your analysis and your instructions to them. Do you go back now and review the whole thing with them, or do you just wipe it off and say, guys, forget about this, we've got a Durban City game, important game on Saturday, forget this? How do you deal with it from just a human perspective?
No, personally, I always want players to know exactly where we went wrong, because in my opinion, I have a big responsibility to teach. And the lessons learned here in Orlando may not sink in properly if we don't show exactly where we went wrong, so that we can improve and be a better team going forward. I know sometimes it's easy to say, in a big team, it's easy to say, you know, guys, it was our bad day at the office, let's just move on and forget about this game. But for me, I think I have a responsibility to make sure that these players learn something from this experience. Sometimes for others it's a loss, but for me, when I look at the team that I have, there are still so many lessons to be learned for them to grow and come here next time being a better group or better bunch of players. Because I think more than anything else, there were elements of fear, there was lack of bravery, there was no courage. You only saw those elements when you brought younger players that have got a little bit of bravery, maybe naivety, but naivety that says, we can do this, you know. And I think it will be very important for me to look into this game, because there are very nice lessons that we learn. I always, it is so strange, I always make examples with Hoto when I talk to my players, because I think Hoto is a good football player, but his strengths are his intensity. The way he works, the way he runs is a lesson for a younger player that is still earning nothing, that is still has not achieved anything. When you see Hoto's age and you look at the intensity that he plays with, and you can ask any of my players, I always make mention of him because I like the effort he puts in his game, and I see this culture is growing in this Pirates team they run. You see Moremi is in that mood now, no laziness. You see Nemchachela works very hard, and you look at these boys from all angles, and you realize my boys can still learn something if a team as big as Pirates can run like this. Even at halftime I was saying, then if we can't run like Pirates and they are a bigger team than us, it means we are not hungry. As a younger team and younger players that should be having ambitions, I expect them to work a little bit harder and never be overworked by any team, but rather maybe we can be naive, ignorant here and there, but the work ethic is it's something that we always pride ourselves with. And the lesson of today, the dribbles that Hoto had in the first half, I think those are the lessons that my players can learn from. And I do believe Mafuleka, Maluleka can learn a lot from that. Shezi can learn a lot from that. And even our white players offensively can learn a lot from that intensity. And there's a lot of quality within the group of Pirates. I think Rale also gave a very good account of himself.
Okay, thank you.
I'm shy, I say, William.
You dealt with as you're answering there, I was like, you're dealing with my question. But maybe away from the Paris question, I wanted to ask Coach is just more on you've been in league contentions and in title races. I think the last one that I remember very well was the COVID one, Chiefs, Sundowns, and then the Pirates one. Where Pirates
was one controversy.
No, not controversy. not controversy, Coach. Just as just someone who's been coaching in this league, to see a league title that's decided, possibly decided on the last day. What does that do for just the healthiness of the league?
I don't know whether it will be decided on the last day, so I can't talk about that. But what I can say, I like the competition. I like the competition, and I think, and I've said this even before, that I like the competition that Pirates has brought into the championship. And so far so good. But we still have so many games, guys. But it's just interesting to note that this season, normally when we come to the stage of the season, there is one team that is already leading with 12, 13 points. And that's why you are even starting to think that it will be decided in the last match when we still have 7 games to play. You know, so the reality is there is still 21 points out there. You know, and there is a lot that can still happen. But it excites everyone in South Africa who follows football to see this pressure that is imposed by Pirates on Sundowns, and I'm so keen to see what's going to happen.
Chad, final question.
Thanks, Tandy. Chad from SABC Sport. Coach, building on Velili's question, I want to borrow your eye as well. You look at the performance at Loftus a few weeks ago, and you look at this performance. It's a far cry from what we would have expected from an Arrows, especially coached by Coach Manqoba. Was there something during this FIFA break, perhaps, that could have affected preparations or the mentality going into this match, or is this a real telltale sign that the gap is closing on the top there in the Betway Premiership?
You're talking about the fight that we put against Sundowns. No, man, the biggest challenge that we had, because even against Sundowns, I don't think we started the game well. I think first half, they dominated the game so much. We only became stronger second half and pushed them. But here, when you concede that early in the match, and you concede from situations that you have worked on, I know it gets into the heads of the players with we have disappointed, and maybe the focus is no longer where you want it to be. But you must also give credit to Pirates. I think they showed a lot of hunger. You know, they ran, because even in the game we played against Pirates at home in Durban, the game was 50-50 up until the latter stages of the game. But this one, they really imposed themselves, and I think our younger team really felt the stress that you can feel in the stadium. It's not an easy stadium for younger players. I don't know why. Maybe there are some craves that are somewhere. It's not an easy stadium for young players. I can tell you that. And I was excited with how the youngsters performed, because those are the people I'm too concerned about their growth and development. But the reality is, Pirates was very strong today. They really wanted this game.
On that note, we've reached the conclusion of our